afternoon and welcome to Teleislas News, the most important news of the day. In view of the pollution that has been occurring due to the impact of balloons as marine debris on the island, Coralina indicated that they will take corrective actions.
Last weekend, the Environmental Corporation for the Sustainable Development of the Archipelago found balloons entangled in the mangroves, which according to the entity are part of the decoration of pontoons or recreational boats for tourists and residents, becoming a pollution factor for the Biosphere Reserve. For this situation, Coralina is working on a rule to prohibit the use of these elements in the sea.
We have already had a first meeting with the authorities such as the port captaincy, and Coralina is going to issue a rule prohibiting this type of elements in the sea. However, there is no regulation, but we want to set one to prohibit this type of elements in the sea to avoid contamination.
The director of Coralina, Arne Britton, indicated that this initiative seeks to avoid that species that live in these ecosystems end up being contaminated or damaged with these balloons.
Balloons have a problem. Balloons are solid waste that take time to decompose. They are solid waste like any plastic bag that you leave in the sea. It puts the marine ecosystem, the marine fauna at risk. There are some species like turtles that get confused with this solid waste. They get contaminated and intoxicated by this type of elements.
Coralina has been working with the harbor master to ensure that recreational vessels dispose these balloons correctly once they have fulfilled their purpose.
A tragic accident near Casa Harbor in the Kilometer 1 area, or also known as the Rocosa, left a man dead after having a devastating collision with a dump truck. More details of this news to follow.
The man who lost his life in the morning in a traffic accident was known as Fanor Monroy. The commander of the police department explained the facts.
La Policía Nacional lamenta.
The National Police regrets the event that has just taken place in which a person died in a traffic accident. Unfortunately, this person was transiting in the Seri Bay sector on the main road and was involved in a traffic accident. The other vehicle involved was a dump truck that was executing construction activities in the area. Traffic and transportation personnel are carrying out the corresponding activities regarding the traffic accident report.
Emergency personnel carry out the removal of the body of the deceased in the area.
5 new houses out of 104 have been delivered by the department government and more than 60 have been repaired. This was stated by Secretary Bartolome Taylor for Teleislas News.
The planning secretary in front of the cameras of Teleislas News pronounced his help about the reconstruction and repair of the homes in the island. He declared that everything is being done to make this possible.
Characterized as well 104 houses totally damaged and have to build back over. So in the moment we got 5 houses already built. We're in process of 4 houses to deliver. Right now we got on board 12 more houses that already reached. So we are advancing in that sense.
He also pronounced himself about the houses that are under repair and they want them that short to be repaired.
We don't intervene 63 houses that have less affectation, and the idea is that we can look at system that we can work quicker on the other houses and it's more serious.
According to the head of the planning portfolio, a proposal has been issued until the National Unit of Risk and Disaster Management and also until the General Director, the General Manager of the Reconstruction to guarantee all the resources and local hand job for the quick reconstruction and repair of these houses. This is all information for Teleislas News. Sylvette Mitchell Archibald.
Thank you, Sylvette. And the second stage of vaccination against COVID-19 has begun in the country, which benefits people between 60 and 79 years old. San Andres is waiting for a new batch to start this stage.
Hello, Lisa and the TV viewers. Well, yeah, the Ministry of Health announced that throughout the Resolution 327 of 2021, the beginning of the second stage of the vaccination plan against COVID-19 in the whole country. Let's remember that the first stage was for people who were older than 80 years, but this second stage is for people between 60 and 79 years of age. This is what the Minister of Health said about this new stage that begins now in our country and also in our department.
Emitimos la resolución 327 para que abre la vacunación
we issued Resolution 427, which now opens the vaccination stage for people between 60 and 79 years of age, and this stage opens prior to the vaccination stage for 80-year-olds, in the measure that is already moving forward in the whole process of scheduling appointment. And now what we are doing is starting with the in-person scheduling.
Let's remember that the people who is over 80 years and who did not get vaccine in the first stage of this vaccination plan can still do it. They just have to go to the ese departamental and announce themselves so they can go in the vaccination plan.
Se mantiene la vacunación.
The vaccination of the population over 80 years old is maintained indefinitely, always giving priority to those that did not get vaccinated for different opportunities or reasons, always have the possibility of access to vaccination.
It is also important to mention that last night a net batch of vaccine get to the country. We are still waiting to see how much of them are coming to our department. In the next few hours we expect this new announcement. This is all the information I report from here. Continue Lisa in the studio.
We're going to a short commercial break, but we'll be right back with more of Teleislas news. And in other news, the president of Cotelco San Andres chapter explained the strategies that are being carried out in favor of the reactivation of the island's economy.
With the objective that the hotel guild of the archipelago can recover its economy, they have been carrying out activities that include participation in tourism fairs and the renowned city marketing. The president of Cotelco and the archipelago expanded this information.
Now comes the management of the development of the city marketing tool that we are going to do at the Anato Fair, which is planned to be held at the end of April. We are already in conversations for all the logistics and to be able to present as Cotelco Archipelago, and we are also working through virtual technological channels with ProColombia, with other wholesale and retail entities at a national and international level.
The businessman mentioned that he has been working with other countries in favor of the reactivation.
With ProColombia, we have been holding virtual fairs with Peru, Chile, and Argentina. So as the country reactivates, we will be at the forefront to respond to the commercial and city marketing needs.
The businessman said that as the vaccines evolve and increase, this will give security to the outbound market to travel to the San Andres vacation destination.
And now let's go to no other facts that are making news in our brief section news of today.
The Citizen Prevention Group of the National Police held at the command of the institution the closing of the pedagogical space for coexistence and security, which had an intensity of 20 hours, aimed at religious leaders of the island. These leaders were trained on issues such as coexistence for the prevention of crime, citizen conflicts and behaviors contrary to coexistence, and the construction of social transformation processes in their neighborhoods, sectors or blocks. The departmental government wanted to reward and exalt women who have dedicated their time to work for the department, from the Coral Palace and community leaders who seek to raise awareness and fight for their people, awarding them the Medal of Work. The event was attended by the interim governor Allen J. Stevens along with his cabinet, the First Lady Maria Nela Herrera and Mistress Coronel Maria Elena Gomez Mendez, commander of the police department of San Andres, Old Providence and Santa Catalina. The missile frigates ARC Almirante Padilla and ARC Antioquia successfully carried out joint exercises with KFIR aircrafts of the Colombian Air Force to continue strengthening the operational synergy between the naval and air power of the country.
And now we continue with the weather forecast. The weather forecast for today, 17th of March, in the coastal area of the archipelago, the sky is partly cloudy, temperature is 28 degrees Celsius, with wind from the northeast direction with intensities up to 23 km per hour. Humidity forecast is 77% and probability of precipitation is 17%.